What's good, everybody? Before I start, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I'm trying to get my views up. I know I haven't been really posting a lot because obviously Thanksgiving, and I said that I was gonna, take some time off, and I understood that, you know, my views was gonna go down. Um, but it's all good. Um, but I'm here to talk about the New York Giants. And now, obviously, I said that I was not going to talk about them anymore, but it's still my team. And as poorly as they are advertised, I still had to talk about them. So we have a lot of we have a little bit of quarterback trouble. Um, not only Daniel Jones is not going to play this Sunday, Mike Glennon might be out of this game as well. So there is no Mike. He is going to be out. So that means Jake Fromm, I think that's his name, quarterback from Georgia University. Um, he was on a couple of practice squads throughout different teams. They cut him. Didn't necessarily, land a home. Now I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, he's gonna come out here and throw for like 420 yards, 4 touchdowns, probably 2 picks. QBR of 100 or so. Like I'm not gonna say that, but will I? What I will say is, I've looked at film on him, and he's not really that bad. He really isn't. He's one of your typical. Who should I really compare him to? I would say he's a poor man's Alex Smith. No, 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 no. I'll take that back. I'll take that back. He's a poor man's Jake Delhomme. I'll say that. When he was with the Carolina Panthers, obviously. Um, he moves his feet well. He can read defenses pretty good. He's not like Daniel Jones where he just grew. Like I was watching a video of him versus Arkansas, and he was just tearing that defense up to shreds. He's not one of those. He got mobility to him. He's not slow like Peyton Manning or Tom Brady, obviously. But the one thing that set him and Daniel Jones apart is his decision making. He's not your one read type of quarterback. If he's not if he doesn't see a target that he likes, he goes to the second option. Like he goes through his progression, and that's what Daniel Jones have struggled. And obviously, who would like? I'm not gonna get to Daniel Jones, but I think Drake, not I say Jake, whatever his name is. I think he's gonna play this decent. Now will he make a few mistakes? Sure. Will he fumble? Sure. Will he throw a few interceptions? Sure. But again, what we have to see now, I'll take that. Okay, okay. Let me retrace my steps. I'll say this: if he goes out there and play decent at best in these last 5, 6 games, then we might probably see what we have in him. You know, kind of like how the Washington football team um, had to know what they had in Tyler Haneke because nobody knew who he was. He came out of nowhere. He had that great game against the Buccaneers, you know, and we all thought, oh, he was going to just be a one-hit wonder. He came back the next following year, beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers again. So Tyler Haneke loves to play against the Buccaneers for some reason, you know. I think it just brings out the more competitiveness in him, and that's the one thing that Jake has as well. He has competitiveness, something that DJ don't have, you know. Um, and again, no knock on Daniel Jones. It's just Duke is not really that typical school where you draft players, you know. I mean, they were. I mean, Duke was the laughing stock of the college and of the college football for years. You know, they would get 60 ball, 70 ball, like blowouts. You know, that's why nobody even dared to even draft anybody at that school. If they did, it was probably like an offensive lineman or extra receiver or extra such and such. Like you go down, like you type in Duke's quarterback, or if you type in Duke football quarterbacks, there have been some. I'm not saying that they haven't been a lot of Duke quarterbacks, but name me one Duke quarterback that came out of that program and wowed the NFL. Exactly. You know, you talk about big schools like North Carolina, uh, Tar Heels. You talk about LSU. You talk about Auburn. You talking about Ohio State. You talking about Clemson. You know, like those big top 10 schools. And even if you do draft quarterbacks from that school, chances of that quarterback being a bust is probably 70 to 80%. You know, so like Dave Gettleman knew what he was doing when he was drafting Daniel Jones. Like, why you take him that high? Why you take a quarterback? I mean, it's not where he was drafted. It's it's like what's. I mean, obviously, you can come and got like uh, like I believe like just because he got drafted or just because he went to Duke, don't mean that he couldn't make a name for himself. It's not really the school that you get drafted or you get drafted from. It's how you make an impact. Like you look at like Peyton Manning came out of Tennessee. You know, Drew Brees came out of Purdue. Eli Manning came out of Ole Miss. You know, I mean, Tim Tebow came out of University of Florida. So you look at those schools and you're saying, well, not all the time schools are going to produce good talent. You know, I guess you're just going to have to see the keen eye of that. I guess you're going to have to see that eye factor. Like, okay, yeah, I know he has that it factor. You know, um, but we're gonna see this Sunday what Jake is all about. Now, again, if he goes out there and wow us, which I think he should do, then the Giants might probably say, like, because this is gonna be a dilemma, right? Let's say Jake goes out there and play great, you know. He has the biggest and greatest game of against a very good team. The LA Chargers have a very good defense. They have a very good running game. Even though Keelan Allen is out for this game, they still got Mike Williams and they still got a very good running game, and they got a very good quarterback. So it's not going to be easy. But if he goes out there and wow us, it's like, okay, now what do we do? Seeing that DJ is going to be cleared to play against Dallas, so the Giants gonna have a dilemma in their hands. Like, Do you go with the hot hand or do you pull him back and put Daniel Jones back in? Knowing that Daniel Jones, he may be clear to play, but he's not like mentally, physically, he's not there. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing that you have to answer. Kind of like how they did last year when they had Colt McCoy. Colt McCoy went in Seattle and beat Seattle. The next following day, I believe, they pulled him and put Daniel Jones in, and then obviously the Giants lost that game. You know, and that's something that no team should ever do. If you have the hot hand, keep him in there. You know, keep him in there because if you pull him out, that's just gonna crush his confidence, and Daniel Jones may not even be ready to play. Like, yeah, the doctors might say, yeah, he's cleared to play, he's 100%, and then he goes out there and plays like he's been playing for the last 16, 17, or 15 games. You know what I'm saying? Because he's had a few stinkers in this year. You know, he have yet to have a game-winning drive. Daniel Jones just he. I knew he wasn't it. I knew he wasn't it. You know, you can always tell. Eli Manning was it. Peyton Manning was it. Brett Favre was it. You know, Drew Brees was it. Aaron Rodgers was it. You saw in Tom Brady when he said that this is the best decision that you ever made. And he went on to, be who he is right now. So it's always the it factor. All quarterbacks have it. And if you don't have it, you're going to struggle. You're going to be like the RG3s. You're going to be like the underachievers, the Jimmy Garoppolos. You're going to be like those guys because you haven't gotten the it factor. And maybe Jake probably does have it, So again, if he goes out there and he plays the best football that he could possibly play, like he may not even throw like okay, he might probably throw one pick, but he might probably just start bombing that like he might play differently than Daniel Jones is used to be playing. He might be doing a lot of RPOs that Daniel Jones is afraid to. He might be, like he might let it loose because what do you got to lose? You probably on your third team or your fourth team right now. So this is an audition for you, If you go out there and you amaze the coaches might say, Joe Judge might say, we have a tough decision to make, So if Daniel Jones come back against the Cowboys at home, but Jake is playing phenomenal, decision making, right? So I always say you go with the hot hand, because if you pull him again, that's gonna crush his confidence, and there's no need to put him back out there no more because his confidence is already shot dead, So again, I am picking the Giants to win this game. I don't think I don't think the LA Chargers scare me that much. I think the Giants will put up points in this game. I don't think they're gonna put up 7. They might probably put 28 points on the game, knowing how Jake plays. But yeah, he was a backup quarterback in Georgia, So he, who knows? We might probably find a diamond in the rough with him. Who knows? Maybe all that talk about Russell Wilson coming here might go up in flames. But again, if Daniel Jones is 100%, because it's his job, it's Daniel Jones' job to lose. You know, and you never want to have a quarterback controversial heading into the training camp or heading into the season. Because now, if Daniel Jones comes back from his injury and plays like crap, then a lot of guys are gonna say, "Oh, why didn't the Giants like why didn't the Giants pull Jake?" Like like Okay, or let's say Jake is basically making the Giants relevant again. You know, he's won two straight. You know what I'm saying? Let's say they beat the San Diego Chargers and they beat the Dallas Cowboys, one on the road and then one at home, and then for some odd reason they pull them out and say, okay, we want to see what Daniel Jones got. Because again, this is still Daniel Jones's team. This is not Jake's team. Jake is in there because Daniel Jones is hurt. Jake is not in there because they yanked or they benched Daniel Jones. He's suffering from an injury. So again, if Jake goes out there and lights it up these next two games, let's say, DJ misses this game and then the Cowboys game, and then he's medically cleared to play against whoever they face. What are they gonna like? What are the Giants are gonna do? Are they gonna go with the hot hand or are they gonna go with the current quarterback? Because that's why you never want to cause chaos in the locker room. I mean locker room, because the Giants, the Giants locker room might side, well, Jake has been playing great. He's the only reason why we won those two games. Like what the hell Daniel Jones has been doing since he was quarterbacking? Nothing, you know? At least Jake gives us a chance to win. So it's gonna cause a lot of turmoil in the locker room, and you know how that crap blows out of proportion. You know what I'm saying? So if I was the Giants, I hope they learned from their lesson last time. But again, it was still Daniel Jones' game. It was still Daniel Jones' team. Colt McCoy was just in there because again Daniel Jones got hurt. So, but you know the scenario I'm talking about, right? So, but who knows? But nah, nah. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I'm picking the LA Chargers. I mean, but I hope Jake does have a good game. I think he's gonna play much better than Daniel Jones. But again, the one game that I saw him was against Arkansas, and he lit that defense up. Like he don't have the Russell Wilson type of arm, but he can let it fly. And I think that's what Daniel Jones was afraid to do. So if Jake goes out there and and deliver the goods, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna spark a conversation in the locker room. Like if like do we win with Jake, or do we, you know, put Daniel Jones back out there and see what he can do? Um, but let me know in the comment section down below. Do you think Jake will take Daniel Jones's job, or will Jake just be another plumber? Like, comment, subscribe. Till next time, take care of yourself and each other.